ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another Farming Simulator 19 episode here on the Estancia Lapacho map with me. It's great to be back on Estancia this morning. I've had a couple of days off from Farming Simulator on this map. I've done a couple of Twitch streams over on the American Outback. I've had a little bit of a break, a little change of scenery, but now we're back to continue, and already I've got a problem. Apparently there's no space to put wool at the sheep pen on this fine lovely morning. Why is there no space for wool on the sheep pen? I may have to borrow you, Mr. Valtra. You may be required to push these pallets out of the way. I've got a bit of maintenance to do in a minute as well. Right, push. You go there. I thought these held more pallets than this. I could be wrong. Oh, that was a disaster of epic proportions. Am I going to be able to recover that? Can I flip it? Yes! Look at that. Can't you tell I used to be an actual forklift driver once in my life? Still got the skills, even if I don't have my license anymore. Right. You sheep are making a mess. You're making a mess, sheep. Can't allow that. Cleanliness is king. And on this farm, I am most definitely king. Right, we're going to go up here, and then we're going to drive forward. Then I'm going to tip out some grass. And there you go. Sheep. You've just been cleansed. Let's have a look. How are we doing on our farm anyway? Are we ready to harvest? We are ready to harvest. Ooh, happy days. Hopefully get some big bumper crops. So what we got? We've got soybeans, oats, and wheat. Okay. Good. We're still a little bit in the loan still. 100 grand. Hopefully we'll get that cleared up today. Get the chickens sorted out. Cleanliness will improve in a bit once time ticks by. Look at all those sheep is. Don't know which one's Sean. Sean the sheep. 3 boxes of eggs. All going well. All going very well. Now, a reason why I did play on the American Outback map the last couple of days was to give me a chance to test some of the in-game mechanics that I'm not too familiar with, so that ultimately when I do them here, I'm going to actually look like I know what I'm doing, and I'm not going to look like some complete noob. But being a noob is still likely to occur. Right. We've cleaned up after our animals. We're going to put the bucket back. Put the bucket back. Put the bucket back. Keep it over here. Because today, my good little friends, we need to do our harvest, and we're going to straw the crops that give us straw, because one thing I have learnt from the American Outback map and doing animals and doing cows and pigs and stuff like that, you need lots and lots of straw. You need lots and lots of grass. You need lots and lots of hay. And quite frankly, my current farm ain't gonna cut the mustard. Ain't gonna cut it. We ain't gonna be able to produce enough crops, enough of that material to be able to keep the animals. So my plans are to make enough money to buy field 15, and then I'm gonna sow grass on field 15. I know that seems like an incredible waste of money, because that's a big field, but we've got 14 there with grass. We can make it one massive grass producing factory. And then I also want to buy field 13, so I've got some more everyday crops, if you know what I mean. And that's my plan. That's my new plan, my going forward plan. How achievable that's going to be in the short term, I don't know. It depends how much money we make from our harvest today. There's also a couple of items, obviously, we need to think about purchasing. Because now, obviously, we've got the sheep, and, you know, we've got the chickens, and, you know, they do a great job of producing stuff, like, you know, wool and eggs, which, in time, we will be able to sell. The problem comes with how do we get those products to the places where we sell them. We're going to need some form of transportation for pallets, and we're going to need some form or way of my straw swathing. You know, that's what I want. Going to need some way to pick the pallets up, to put them on the transport, to take them to the places where we can sell them. So I'm possibly going to have to look into getting a wheel loader or something like that. And I'm going to have to look into getting some kind of flatbed trailer that I can use to pick up, you know, stuff. And transport stuff. Pallets of stuff. So that's another thing. So those are something equipment-wise that we're going to need to upgrade to before too long. There's also a bunch of other things. Obviously, another thing I'm thinking of doing, and I don't know how well it's going to be received. I don't know. I'm thinking of leasing the forestry equipment. The Scorpion King, wood chipper, log trailer, that sort of thing. And I basically want to clear that area there. Get that cleared, get it ploughed, get it sown again with grass, so we've got plenty of grass going forward. Then I could always take, if I get that whole area, that massive field over there, if I get that as a grass field, you know, we could get some serious volume off of that. Silage bales, hay, you know, there's no limit to what we could get off an area that size. Going all the way down to the shop, you know, it's just wasted, it's dead space in a minute, it's not doing anything, so I could actually give it a purpose. But obviously, I don't know if I want to record me cutting down all them trees and getting rid of them, because it would just be insane. It would take hours, and I'm not the best with the logging equipment and how it operates and controlling the crane and stuff like that on the, like the Scorpion King. So that's another thing, reason why I don't particularly want to film it, because people would laugh at me and facepalm at my inability to work it properly. So I may even and this is gonna sound insane, run around with a chainsaw and chop everything down by hand and get rid of it. Which would take even longer. You know, there would be probably 20 videos alone just on that if I was recording it. So that would be, like I say, that would be a good thing to do. Get that as a grass area, grass field, because that would solve a lot of issues. We could get a forage harvester then. And I was playing with one on the American Outback stream that does a great job of collecting the grass as it goes and making chaff and all that sort of stuff, which again we can use to make silage, and which we're going to need to feed to the cows, you know, and make food for them. And we can also in time sell it to the BGA when I eventually get round to buying that. We could sell it to the BGA, which will give us money for one thing, which is quite good money, so I'm told. And also, as a byproduct of the BGA using the silage in their production process, they generate and create like what basically we can use as a fertilizer, a product that we can use as a fertilizer, and it is free. So free fertilizer sounds good to me in exchange for silage. Yeah, I could do that. Obviously I would need to get some silos put in, so I know the BGA has its own silos and we can use their silos once we own it. However, I will need to be doing silage before that point, because obviously animals. So I'm going to need to put in some silos of my own, and then that brings, of course, with it the need for equipment. We're going to need a big tractor that can compact the material down, level it all out in the silo so we can cover it to start the fermenting process. We're then going to need a way to pick up that material once it's finished fermenting, so we might need like a conveyor belt or something like that to clear the silo out once it's done. Obviously, to feed animals, then we're going to need one of them machines that you put silage into, and grass and hay and straw, and it mixes it all together into this like wonderful cocktail of food that the animals just seem to absolutely love and go nuts for. So those are things I've got to do as well. Like I say, we've got a couple of fields to harvest. Oh, the crop destruction is real. I wasn't paying attention yet again, and we've dropped a clanger. Oh my good lord. I ought to have a forfeit. There ought to be some kind of forfeit or penalty in place for doing that. Driving over crops and destroying crops is... oh, it's just it's an unforgivable sin in farming. You know, that's just freaking money that we've just lost, just you know, wiped off the flipping board. Yeah, so that's a good thing for people out there who watch the videos and are watching the series. What would be a good penalty or forfeit for doing that? Come on, leave some suggestions of things that I could do or should have to do if I commit that boo-boo. If I commit that boo-boo again and destroy crops, because that's just... oh, the time and money you've put into planting all that stuff, and then you just go and drive all over it like an idiot. Oh, and he's about to do it again. Steering on this thing. Fill me up. That tippy trailer. not one of the biggest ones in the world, I will be quite honest. I have seen bigger, and I own bigger on the American Outback. Big trailers that could haul serious quantities of rock. But alas, as I took into a pork cocktail sausage, not to be confused with a sausage roll, which of course is sweeping the nation by storm at this point in time, thanks to Lad Baby and his brilliant bid to be Christmas #1 in the music charts with his fantastic song, "We Built This City on Sausage Rolls." Now I'm just eating Asda pork cocktail sausage, hot and spicy cocktail sausages, because they're just a great snack food. I'm sure they're healthier for me than eating crisps or chocolate when I'm gaming. I assume they've got like protein and stuff in, you know, for making the gains, as all the trendy people say. Gotta make them gains. Also, and this is something I've got to consider as well with the series and equipment and things, we're going to need a baler at some point to actually convert this into bales of straw, bales of hay, and if I want to do silage bales, I'm going to need a baler that wraps. And I don't mean like drop a sick beat and, you know, spit awesome lyrics. I mean a baler that covers, once it's made the bale, it wraps it in a lovely foil material to let it do its thing. So normally in the past, in like Farming Simulator 17, I used to do square bales just because they were kind of like easier to work with and stack and pick up and stuff. But I don't know if there's a good square baler that also wraps. I think most of the square balers I've seen in the game tend to just produce the bales and chuck them out. You then have to, if you want to wrap them, you've then got to go around with a bale wrapper afterwards, which is like, it's another process, it's another vehicle that you're going to need, and it's more time. Whereas the round balers, there are a couple of options in the store for round balers which have a wrapping feature built in, so it will make the round bale, and then if it's a grass bale, it will wrap it to produce silage before chucking it out onto the field. So for the first time in a playthrough on this game, I may elect to skip past square bales and do round bales. I know there's some, you know, delicacies with round bales. The fact that due to their shape they can roll about a bit, and the physics system in the game means that they can be a bit temperamental when you're trying to move them around. They can be a bit lifeful, full of the joys of spring and all that business. And I realise I'm still chucking straw everywhere. It's going to make this fun to pick up with the forage wagon. So yes, round bales could be a thing, and there is a trailer in the store that is a mod which enables auto stacking of round bales. So I can potentially solve my headache of picking up bales and transporting bales by using the auto stacker. it's a work in progress, the mod is. It's got some new elements to it that I've not seen on a previous auto stacking bale mod. Like the fact that the bed of the trailer, you can move it when it's in its unloading position. You can slide it around. Which, playing on the American Outback map on my Twitch save last 2 days, I've used great effect to actually stack. Okay, admittedly it was square bales. Didn't do round bales. I haven't done round bales on with the auto stacker yet. I did the square bale version, but it lets you stack it, like just create lovely rows of bales. The trailer holds 24 bales at a time, so you put like 24 down, it stacks them in like 2 rows. It's 2 rows, or is it 3 rows? The 3 high. It falls. So the 3 high, there's 4 of them in a row. So there's and they're 2 deep. So there's basically 8 on a layer. So you've got 8, 16, 24 on the 3. And basically then I just come along with the next 24, stack them on top. So then I've got like a stack of like 6 high. With this magical trailer. And then I just drive the next group up behind them and then stack them on top. So I create these lovely well organised stacks of little towers of bales of straw bales. And when you go to the shop, if you buy any from the shop, you go there, pick them up with the stacker, the auto loader, and then you can stack them too when you get back to your farm. It's so much easier than prattling around with a bale spike on and that. I'm trying to stack them manually. The only time I ever have to touch a bale manually in that save is when I pick it up to chuck it into either a food trough at an animal pen, or I'm dropping it into the machine that mixes the food. It's the only time I have to manually move a individual bale. Rest of the time, use the trailer. I think there's a trailer as well that does normal. That basically you can put anything on. That might be worth looking at for the wool and egg situation. And that's the same. It's got a bed that you slide out and drop to the floor to help you load stuff. Because obviously you can chuck stuff on it then by hand, rather than having to pick pallets up with a machine or a forklift and load them. It's interesting. I'll have to give that a try. Because if you can shift the wall pallets like that, we could be onto a bit of a winner. Winner, chicken dinner and all that, as they say in the trade. Something else I noticed as well, playing on the American Outback map, and obviously, oh, there goes the crop destruction yet again. Dupe. You were all sat watching that. You knew that was going to happen. You was waiting for it. You were like, he's going to freaking mess up. He's going to boo-boo. You would be right. Another 60,000 litres of wheat. I'm just going to chuck this in the silo for now. I'll worry about selling it later on at another time. I want to get the harvesting done as quick as possible today. If need be, I can lease a big machine, much bigger trailer and tractor for an hour or so while I do the important selling work, either the bakery or the harbour. I don't think I'm going to mess around with the transport company and with the train system. Even if they offer the best prices, it's a bit of a faff. Honestly, if I thought I could get away with it without anyone saying it's too cheaty and unrealistic and stuff, I would use a mod that I use on my Twitch save, which is called Sell Point 150. It's basically a barn someone's made that you can tip everything and anything into and sell it. It gives you a sell point that you can place down on, so you haven't got to go travelling all around the map to all the different places to sell stuff. There's just one place right on your farm that you can take stuff to, and it sells it, you get the money, and everyone's a winner. Everyone's a winner. But people might say, ah, that's cheaty. That's a cheat, that is. And we don't want to do cheats. Don't want to do cheats and exploits if we can help it. You know, anything that's an actual viable game mechanic though is fair game. And I watched a video the other day on YouTube of a guy who basically didn't think that the batch contracting system that I do is, you know, a genuine mechanic. He thinks it's an exploit, it's a cheat, and he would rather, if he has 6 jobs, lease 6 pieces of equipment. So if there's 6 harvesting jobs on the screen, he would rather lease 6 separate harvesters, 6 separate tractors, trailers, trucks or whatever, pay all that extra money and do the jobs one at a time, returning the equipment after every single job. And I'm like, dude, in the real world, in the real life, there ain't a single farmer in the world who's gonna rent 6 combine harvesters to harvest 6 fields. He's gonna rent the best harvester he can afford, and then he's going to harvest all 6 fields with that one harvester to get his absolute best value for money out of it. You know? And then once he's done, he'll return the harvester. And that's basically what batch contracting is to me. I lease the best equipment I can that they offer, and then I use that equipment to do all the jobs of that type. And once we're done, we return the equipment. And I don't consider that a cheat or an exploit. I just consider that economics and, you know, real life. I mean, it's not like we can bend the system in any way, because vehicles that are leased through the contracting system can only be used for contract work. So it's not like we could cheat and sell all our stuff, and basically then the machines that we get given for a contract we can use to do our farming in between the jobs. No, the game doesn't allow you to do that, so that's why I don't consider it a cheat or an exploit. Do batch contracting. I think it makes sense. And with the way the contract system is, with the prices that the game offers you, shall we say, for the contract work compared to FS17 when you did jobs for farmers. And obviously the cost of leasing equipment. If you were to lease equipment for every single job, you know, if there's 30 jobs on that contract screen, if you lease 30 bits of equipment, you are never going to make money. You're never going to be profitable, because the lease costs are going to take away anything you are getting paid for doing the job, you know. And as I said as well, I mean, I did sort of comment on the video and replied, the way I look at the system as well is that hopefully in time, from the contract system, the money you make from it, why is he driving off over there? And coupled with obviously farming your own fields, producing and selling your own crops, hopefully you're making money that you're going to be sensible enough in the early part of the game to invest into equipment for your farm. New equipment, bigger and better equipment. As you do that, I said, you could then use that. If you have a problem with the leasing system and, you know, the leasing of equipment, because of his argument was that if you lease a harvester for one job and then proceed to do 7 or 8 contracts with it, you only pay the one lease fee and you don't pay any like running costs, maintenance costs, or anything like that on the equipment, which is why he thinks it was a cheat. So my theory is that once you've invested, done a few jobs, okay, and you've invested and reinvested that money into equipment for yourself, your own equipment, use that equipment. Use that on the contract jobs. That way, you are incurring wear and tear, running costs, maintenance, fuel, etc., etc. You know? But again, you wouldn't just do one job. You wouldn't do a harvest job and then jump to a fertilising job or jump to a weeding job. That still wouldn't be very economical and make a lot of sense, would it? What you would want... Why is my field getting covered in weeds? Wow. You would still do as many harvest jobs as there is available on that screen whilst you're in the harvester. You know, because those contracts will then offset the, you know, help to offset the running costs and the maintenance costs of all the equipment you own. It's like me. I mean, I do, like, when I do the harvesting jobs, yes, I choose the lease option, but that's normally just so I can get access to a good truck and trailer. I never actually use the harvester that they lease or load me. I always use my own harvester, and I suffer the cost for that because obviously I end up having to repair the headers, repair the harvester. I've then got to put fuel back in the harvester. The one they loan me, or the one I lease, just basically sits and collects dust at the store. Because, you know, I've bought and invested in a bloody good harvester. I might as well use it. And once I'm in a position where I have a good truck and trailer of my own for transporting crops about the place, when I do harvest contracts, I won't need to lease any equipment. So then I will be very happy. I mean, I'll still end up doing like 10 harvest jobs in a row and taking them all off the screen at the same time, stacking them all up. But hopefully people can then say that's not a cheat and an exploit. Certainly compared to field flipping, which is definitely the biggest cheat and exploit in the game. It's something I definitely don't agree with. If I'm watching a video on YouTube or I'm watching a stream on Twitch of someone playing the game and they field flip, I switch off that video straight away and I don't watch anything from them again. Pretty much. It's like, yeah, you're done. You've lost me as a viewer because you're cheating the game. Buying a field for the sole purpose of harvesting a crop that you've had no involvement with up to that point, to sell that crop and then turn around and sell the field for profit back to the farmer. That's just... And then just basically jump around the map doing that, buying fields, stealing the crop and then selling the field back to the farmer, so he does, plants it, sows it, fertilizes it, everything for you again, and then you steal it, come in and buy it again just as it wants harvesting and steal the crop again. That's cheating. Sorry, that's gaming the game. And like I said on a previous video, Giants should have written it in game in such a way that when you buy a field, it doesn't matter what position or state it's in at that point in game, the second you buy it, it gets reset to the point where you need to plough it, you need to lime it, you need to cultivate it, you need to seed it, you need to fertilise it before you're ever going to get a harvest off of it. And that's how it should be. And I want my stayer. I'm going to have to go and empty him because he's got a different crop. Good thing is, now I've done some terraforming, it's not too steep to drive down here. There's no like cliff face anymore. Well, the trailer could sometimes just take over and push the tractor. I think it's the weight, the volume of material in it. And sometimes I think I need to get a front weight, because it does feel like it, once you get this trailer hooked up and full, it does kind of feel like you're ice skating a bit. But I was saying something else before about, oh yeah, silos. Silos, what I found on the American Outback map. Obviously, on a map like this, the game gives you your starting silo. And with starting silos, obviously, you have a limited capacity. This one in particular gives me, is it 200,000 litres? I can store 200,000 litres of every crop. Grain crop. And once I reach that mark, that point, I either have to sell some crop if I want to store more, or I have to buy the silo extension, which are about 90 grand in the store. I think they're in. Yeah, the large silo extension, 90 grand. So those are the only things, right? And it says, look, it accepts wheat, barley, canola, corn, oats, sunflowers and soybeans, same as the silo and the normal grain silo. What I found on my American Outback map, and I don't know if Giants are aware of this, whether it's been brought up or mentioned at any point, or whether anyone's picked up on this. It might be since the patch, because I know there was some problems with large silos before the recent patch update, where basically when you bought the large silo and put it down on your farm, when you tip crops, it didn't go into your silo. It went into the other silos section, and you couldn't get your crops back out again, and they basically became lost to you. And it was, you know, it was a bug. You bought the large grain silo, kiss goodbye to your crops if you put them in the silo, because you couldn't get them back. So I believe they fixed that now. Because certainly from playing on the American Outback last 2 days, large silos now add to the normal silo capacity screen, which is great. But something that I noticed, because of how I've got my farm set up on that map, you basically, when you want to travel some of the places, there's an area where I was basically, you know, doing the dumping of materials, but you have to travel. Basically, you have to travel over the normal silo to get to an area where I basically dump the stuff I can't store in silos, you know. So like wood chips, potatoes, sugar beet, sugar cane, that sort of stuff. And it was after I placed the large silo extension on the silo, the next time I did a harvest of potato, the first one was potatoes, and when I went to take those to dump them in the silo, in me dumping ground, me dumping area, as I drove over the sale point, not the sale point, the silo to get into that field, basically, that area of the map, the message come up saying, start overloading potatoes. And I was like, that's weird. You can't store potatoes in a grain silo. But I thought, I'll test it, see what happens. So I pressed the button on the controller, and sure enough, the machine unloaded the potatoes into the grain silo. And when I checked the screen, the potatoes were showing on the top there, silos owned. Boom! And there was the figure of potatoes that I just tipped into the silo. I thought, that's interesting, because you've never been able to store root crops in a silo, grain silo, before. So I was like, that's weird. And I tested it with sugar beet. And that can now be deposited into the silo. I was like, okay. Interesting. And I did it with sugar cane. And the same thing. So, once you place a large silo next to a silo, you can actually store pretty much everything except cotton in it. And I tested this. I actually went back and reloaded an earlier save, a backup, one of the save game backups from before I built the silo extension, and I couldn't tip potatoes or anything. Wouldn't let me. As soon as I place that large silo extension, which is in game, it's vanilla, it's not a mod, I don't have any silo extension mods, it's only that one. As soon as I place that on the map next to my silo, I can store potatoes, sugar beets, and sugar cane in it. That is weird. And as I say, I can't remember that being a thing. In previous games, it certainly... I mean, I can't say before the patch, because obviously the silo extensions were so bugged, people didn't use them before the patch, because you were going to lose your crops if you did. So, try it, people. Try it out. And let me know if you can reproduce it too. the pickup on. Start picking up the straw. We might be able to sell a few trailer loads of this today and get some profit. So what I'll do at this point, because I've been waffling for quite a while, I will probably skip ahead to once the harvests are finished and I've made my decision over what crops we're selling, what we're keeping and all that, and I'll bring you back then for a sort of end of day wrap up, tack on to the end of this before obviously we do the actual official end of video wrap up. So I'll see you in a few moments time. Okay, so the soybean harvest is complete. Some issues with this. Tractor doesn't like this trailer. It's too heavy. What I'm guessing. Alright, I want to reverse it that way. Thank you. I have to pick up. I'm gonna have to get a wheel weight. A weight for this. No, it's not going to let me tip there. There we go. So, last episode I was doing really well with the reversing and stuff. This episode, not so well. I think it's this tractor. I just don't think there's any weight on the front wheels. It was ice skating all over the place in the shop. So let's get ourselves a weight. Don't any weights. We want 1600. Purple. That'll work. What did we get harvest? I wasn't paying attention. I didn't see. What did we get money-wise for the harvest today? 372,181. We must have got quite a bit then for our soybeans, because that's all I've sold. Did we get 372,000 for the soybeans? That seems... Suppose 2,510 is a lot of money. It's a lot more than canola was the other day, and I was getting nearly 125,000 weren't I for the canola? So yeah. If soybeans is double the price of canola, that would... Yeah, I suppose. Ow! What a crop. What a yield. 596,000 in the bank. Happy days. That means I could purchase a field. And also, I'm going to have a look into something off camera. Unless anyone can shed some light on the subject by leaving me some comments. The sheep. They're complaining again that they have no room for wool. Yet I moved the wool earlier. I don't understand why they're not putting down like 4 pallets in that area. They seem to stop at 2 and don't put any more. Look, no more space to place new pallets of wool. I don't understand why there is no room. This is the large chicken pen, isn't it? I'm going to remove something in that area. Maybe remove the grass and add dirt all the way around. I don't know. Something for me to look at, I suppose, off camera and have a play. But that's going to do it for today's video. The harvest is done. The fields need prepping and replanting. All that jazz malarkey. Quick look what we've got in the silo. 153,000 litres of wheat. 98,000 of barley. 70,000 oat. 47,000 litres of canola. 35,000 litres of sunflower. 12,000 litres of soybean. 48,000 litres of corn. So I think we'll probably do a corn and sunflower harvest next. Detach that one, we detach the back one. Thank you. I need to get the old big bud. The big boy needs to be out doing the cultivating. I think from last we've got a quick look at the fields. We've got weeds now have appeared on field 6, and it needs liming as well once we've finished. So I'm going to have to herbicide and lime it before I can cultivate it and get it replanted. So thank you everybody who has watched the video. You've been a great audience as ever. I'm going to quickly buy... Ooh. No, not going to buy that just yet. So continue watching the series and showing your support for it. Continue leaving your likes and shares in the video. Please, as I say, leave any comments, questions, feedback, suggestions, anything like that you want to in the comment section below. And as I say, if anybody knows how to fix this issue with the sheep pallets, please tell me. Please tell me how to fix this, because this is a problem, because they've got space right there for 2 more pallets and they're not using it. I don't know why. And of course, for anyone who is watching the video and isn't already, please smash that subscribe button, as that really helps me out greatly. So thank you everybody. I'll see you all again very soon with another video. Goodbye.